It's been 1 week since I shot and edited my first third-person cinematic mountain biking video on my iPhone, and today I'm going to show you how you can do it too. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel, I'm Wilf, and today I'm going to show you how I planned, shot and edited my first third-person cinematic mountain biking video on my iPhone, and how you can do it too. So first I'm going to talk about the equipment you'll need to shoot your own cinematic video. First off, you'll need a camera. I use my iPhone 11, which has a good camera and can shoot 60 frames per second at 4K resolution. It can also shoot 1080p 240 frames per second slow-mo footage. So this is a good camera and well suited to this job. Next up, you'll need a full-size tripod. The little tabletop one just won't quite cut it because you will just need to leave it on the ground to get the shots. It makes the job so much easier having a full-size tripod. And a clamp to hold your phone or camera. I bought a cheap clamp off of Amazon. It just screws onto the top of the tripod and clamps my phone. Works great. It's about £10 I think, so about $10. So pretty good value for what it does. Last up, you'll need a computer to edit on. So it's one with reasonable power. I've got a good Windows desktop PC. And obviously you'll need video editing software. I'm using DaVinci Resolve 17, just a free version, which is very powerful and quite advanced, but it does have a learning curve, so I wouldn't recommend it for beginners, but for intermediate to advanced video editors, it's a great piece of software. Let's now jump into how I plan this video. So really the ideas just popped into my head and I just quickly got them down on a note in my phone so I could get straight out shooting. This meant that when I was shooting the footage, I could just take a quick look at the note on my phone and work out which shots I needed to do where and what kind of frame rates. This is a great way to make sure that you don't miss any shots in your video, you get the perfect shots and don't forget any. Now is a great time to talk about camera settings to help you get the most cinematic shots for your video. So you want to head to your iPhone settings and scroll down to camera. Then click on formats. And as I have a Windows PC, I have to use the most compatible option because high efficiency iPhone footage won't play back on Windows. But if you do have a Mac, then you can opt for the high efficiency option. This reduces the file sizes while giving you the same video quality. Next, we want to go back and onto record video. Here is where we will set the resolution we want to shoot our video at. We'll use 4K to get the highest quality and 24 FPS to get the most cinematic look. 24 FPS is what movies are shot at. It increases motion blur and is the most natural to the human eye. Next, we'll go down to adjust the slow-mo settings and I'll make sure that it's set to record 1080p at 120 FPS. Then, when we are editing later on, we can further adjust the speed of the slow-mo footage. One very important thing to remember is to always lock the focus. To do this, we just tap and hold on the screen. This prevents the autofocus of the iPhone's camera from changing, which can really mess up an important shot. That's it for camera settings, so we're almost ready to hit record. The first few shots of me walking up the hill were pretty simple to get. I just had to get the phone positioned in the tripod correctly and then position a tripod at the side of the trail and lock the autofocus, hit record on my phone and just walk past the tripod and just come back, stop recording, and that's the shot taken. So that was pretty simple to get those shots. Again, it was the same here when I arrived at the top of the downhill. The shots where I'm slamming my foot down on the pedal and resting my finger onto the brake lever, and also the one where I'm putting my goggles on and looking up into the sky. Those shots are all shot in 120 frames per second, so that makes them really cinematic. It means I can then slow them down or speed them up more when I'm editing. So that means I have lots of control over the speed of the shots. I can get them slowed down to the perfect speed in the editing software in post-production. All the shots of me riding the bike down a trail are shot at 4K resolution, 24 frames per second, to look very cinematic. So on to how I actually got the shots for the video of me riding down the hill. So it's actually not too complicated really, just put the phone in a clamp on the tripod, adjust the tripod to the correct height and position it by the side of the trail ready to get the shot. Then just hit record on the phone, ride down the trail past the camera. It was important for me to ride out of the frame to make the shot look realistic, and then just put the bike down, run back up the hill to get the tripod, stop recording and then move the tripod back down the trail to get the next shot and just repeat like that all the way down the trail. That worked fine. It was quite tiring, a lot of running around, but in the end it makes a really good looking video. It's well worth it. Took a lot of effort and running around with the tripod on my bike to get all the shots for this video. It took me 2 hours in total to get all the shots. Kind of crazy when it's only a 30-second section of trail. So that's all of the shooting done. Now time to start the post-production process, so the editing of the video footage. So the very first step in this is to transfer all of the files from my phone onto my PC. So to do this, I'll just plug in my iPhone into a Lightning to USB-A cable to transfer the files into File Explorer and save them to my computer. Now that the files are on my computer, I can open up DaVinci Resolve and start editing. I do find it useful when I'm editing to have my plan, so the screenshot of the notes on my phone next to me when I'm editing. This helps when I'm editing to get the correct order of the footage. The first step is to create a new project, name it what we want, and then right click on the media pool and import media. Then select the correct files from your computer and click open. Now that we can see the video files that we have imported. So at the bottom of the screen, just above the taskbar, we can select the edit page within Resolve. So here you can see the timeline in the bottom in the middle here, and the red playhead. On the left, we can see the videos that we have imported. So you want to begin to cut down our edit. So we can just select a video by clicking on it and then drag it into the timeline. The most important keyboard command for this stage is Ctrl+B, which will cut the video in half. I think on Macs, the keyboard command is Command-B. So the command Ctrl+B will cut the video at the point where the playhead is in half. This means we can begin to trim out the excess that we don't want in the final edit of our video. And to delete an unwanted clip, we can just select it by clicking on it and hit backspace on the keyboard, and this will delete the selected part. Obviously, don't worry if you make a mistake when editing, just press Ctrl+Z to undo a command. We can drag these clips around on the timeline to reposition them to our liking, and this is how we can start to get down to the footage that we want to be included in our final edit. That's the very basics of video editing within DaVinci Resolve. I really won't go into depth here, but if you would like a more in-depth tutorial of how to use DaVinci Resolve, please just leave a comment below. If you're enjoying this video, please smash that like button below and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content like this. Anyway, back to editing this video. So down here at the bottom, you can see a few different icons. If you click onto this one called Fusion, so this is where we can add graphics and motion to our video. This is way too complicated for today's video and it's very advanced, but this is incredibly powerful. Next, along the bottom, we have the color tab, which is where we can color grade the video. Next, we have Fairlight, which is a section of Resolve for audio editing. Lastly, we have the Deliver tab, which is where we export our finished video straight to YouTube or another social platform, or most commonly onto our computer's hard drive. The first step is to name your video here, then just hit Browse and then select where to save your video on your computer. I'd recommend changing the format to MP4 because this uploads to YouTube the quickest and it gives you the smallest file size, and leave the codec as H.264. Then we can just hit Add to Render Queue, and then over on the right we can now press Render All, and that's it, just let it export. If you want your video to be on YouTube or a social platform, then you can just upload it to YouTube. That's the final step in producing your cinematic video on your phone. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them. If you'd like to see my cinematic video, just click up here. If you'd like to see me ride a Canic Chase, click down the bottom here. Thank you for watching to the end of this video.